Hey everybody, welcome to the Dope and Tape Show. This is episode 145. Can't believe we even made it this long. I figured that Bobby would piss someone off and we would have to stop the show by now.
Bore him to death.
We're still here. We're still here. Yeah, and then tonight's gonna be fun. So tonight is a sponsor show with American Backflow. I have years of experience with dealing with them. And my father's ordered from them. The customer service is, I would say, the staple of the industry. I don't think anybody really comes close for customer service and for a parts company more than American Backflow. And I'm sincere about that. Like, I really believe it. And then, guys, if you want to try me on that, call them. And they'll answer. And you're talking to a real person. And then they're going through everything. So I wanted to introduce, we have Andrew, we have John and Doug, and they came to come and hang out with us and talk a little bit more about American Backflow. I feel like, as much as I've been buying from you guys, I feel like I could do all this by myself, but I'm sure there's things I'm missing,
There's always something.
But thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for coming to join the show and hang out with us and support the community. And I hope that this kind of shares a light on American Backflow and gives everybody a great outlet to go and get their fire pump, backflow, automatic control valves, all those components. And I really like you guys because I'm over here in Atlanta, and y'all have a little holding warehouse here in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always got my stuff super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in Norcross, so northeast Georgia, we got a emergency pickup spot, stocking parts all the way up to 10-inch for all brands. Big market up there, as you know, Brian. So if you need something right away, you can run right over there and just pick it up.
Yeah, huge. Atlanta's covered up with fire protection contractors all over the freaking place, man. And I wanted to let everybody know we are still in partnership with FireTech, and we have a discount code for a class for NFPA 25. It's a NICET level 1. This is a course kind of prep class for your NICET certification, and it's awesome. It's extremely extensive. For $185, it's a bargain. And you take this, and I'll recommend going through the course twice, and then going to take your test. If you pay $185. You go take, and then you get your test, you get your level 1. Now how things are going now, you get a bonus typically from your contractor, and you'll get a bonus on completing it. So you get your money back plus some, and then you'll probably get a raise. And it also gives you a great spot for negotiations for more money and all that. If you just wait for your contractor, your manager to send you, then now you're obligated to them. Instead of kind of the other way around, we're here for the people. The contractors, the owners, and the managers, we love you too. But the guys in the field, that's what we're here for. And then it's definitely better to do it on your own. Just go ahead and take care of it. People pay ridiculous amounts of money for college and certifications and stuff like that. $185 is
a couple $100
nothing.
To learn something
That's
new.
nothing.
It's exciting
Exactly.
learning something new.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. FireTech Productions workshop. Actually, we've all been to the fire pump workshop they put on at SPP, and class. Such a great facility. You just learn so much, and a lot of times we're talking to contractors, and they may sub out their pump work, and we also, we always refer them to that SPP pump class put on by FireTech, and Chris and his staff over there. They just have a great facility. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Will's Lacrosse up there. I'm sure y'all know him. The guy.
Oh my goodness,
he's the daggum guru.
Freaking goat.
Yeah, he's the best. He really is the best. We try to get him on the show as much as we can. Everybody, thank you for joining. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I see Big Country 1, Chad Tester, Chandler. Yo, what up, Chandler? Can't wait to see you, big dog. Everybody, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. So, all right, so what do we want to chat about, guys? Backflows? Let's talk about some backflows.
Well, before I get into that, I wanted to kind of dig into y'all's customer service, so because it's really good, and I think it's a great example for a company to have great customer service. And if they think about it in the industry, I think they should think about American Backflow. But how did y'all create that, and kind of what are the standards in y'all's customer service?
Yeah, I mean, our company culture is just second to none. I mean, our leaders every single day, I mean, are just putting their best foot forward every single day. There's no giving up. I mean, it's always what's next, what's new, the continuous education that we go through here. We're always staying brushed up on our product knowledge. The customer, we're very customer centric. The customer comes first and foremost. Again, that's what we think customer service is about, but we also have the product knowledge behind everything we sell. We go through a very, very extensive training program just to get on the telephones and be able to talk backflow. I mean, you call us and you have a Watts 009. Our CSR's expectation here is you got to know every single modification of that 009 for, every single size, right? So whenever you call us, we're not really flipping through catalogs. That stuff comes firsthand before you even get on the phone. We have weekly product knowledge meetings. I'm sure y'all see it on my LinkedIn that I post, but we have weekly product knowledge meetings that we pick a different topic just to stay brushed up on it.
That's awesome.
Doug can elaborate some more, but it's just it's never ever staying stagnant around here. We're always moving forward. What's next, and just pushing. I mean, it's crazy. It's fun.
Yeah, that pushing is fun when you're just consistently pushing to be the best. I like that.
I
That's
like
what
that
keeps
too.
me going a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things where it's funny to think about. It's like, Alabama football team. They can tell you what play they're going to run, right? But you still have to stop them. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like our customer service. Like we can show you and we can tell you what we do, but I mean, you still have to stop us, right? So it's one
Well,
of the things, man.
Catch
It's
me if
it's
you
very
can.
fun to watch, and it's always
yeah,
so fun whenever we're out on the road, just hearing that fruit from
yeah,
all of our hard work and the work we put into our customer service, and just hearing like, man, y'all's customer service is awesome, and like what you said at the beginning, like our customer service is, that should be the staple of the industry, and I mean that stuff right there, that's music to our ears. That's what we love, and that's the reason why we do it.
yeah.
We got
Yeah.
Carlos, fire sprinkler guy in the chat. American Backflow, it's suppliers like them that are a big part of the service we provide out here. Thank you guys for all of your help.
I appreciate that.
Carlos, my man, Carlos
Hey,
Nunez
hey,
down there, man. He's that
Yeah.
guy's awesome, man.
He's
I love
everywhere.
Carlos. He's doing big things down
He's
there with his
everywhere,
company.
bro. You're everywhere, huh? Every guest we have on here knows Carlos.
that's it.
Huh?
Gets around.
Yeah.
Hey, it's more famous than me. Roll Tide, Big Country says.
Oof.
We got some
I
Knowles
don't
fans
know
on here, a little
about
bit of Gators fans.
Oh man, yeah. We're gonna alienate some fans here.
Round of applause for Chad,
Bring up
always.
the tide.
Chad's doing great all the time, all the time.
No, I was gonna say though, so I start before I was in outside sales, I was in our customer service department, went through all that training and everything, got a better
Right,
understanding
right.
of the ins and outs and how it works. And it's really nice being out on the road. Essentially what I'm selling and what Doug's selling, out on the road is not products necessarily. It's more just our customer service because a lot of people sell this stuff. It's easy to find, a lot of times local, other national suppliers, things like that. But, I feel like being able to tell them, hey, I promise you, once you call us the first time, you're gonna understand why, we could be very helpful. It's not just we're gonna get you the right parts. We're also gonna, maybe figure out a kit that you didn't think would work initially. Might save your customer some money. Maybe you're at a backflow, you've been out there for 3 hours, you're sweating like crazy, and you just want a little bit of help with technical support, which is where Doug and Mark and Jason, Greg, and all of them come in. If you've ever talked to one of them, so it's kind of a whole. It's not just parts. That's just kind of half of what we sell. Technical support is the other portion of it, and that's what the kind of the base of the customer service is.
Yeah, and when you get into the bigger backflows, I mean that is hugely important. Like some of them require special tools, and unless you're used to it, what is that? Like the 2000 SS, I think the big one, it takes a special tool, and if you don't know that, it's got to be a pain in the butt, man. Is you have to
Yeah.
like decompress it and turn it, and I know that because I've done that.
Yeah.
You know,
You gotta find out.
it was terrible. Yeah. So if they call you and they're like, "Hey, I'm replacing a 2000 SS, like an 8-inch, 6-inch, whatever it is," and then you'd be like, "Well, before you do that, buy this tool. You don't need this."
Yeah,
She,
100%.
I think that's one of the things that we kind of recognize in it. We're trying to support different industries, right? So we're dealing with fire sprinkler contractors, irrigation, plumbing, mechanical of all different levels. So when they call in there, their expectation is that we're going to tell them those answers, Brian, right? Like, hey, make
Right.
me my job easy. Make sure that when I'm out there, I haven't forgot a part, that I know what type of repair I'm getting into, and that I'm ready for it. So the training, as John and Drew kind of said, is that I think the keystone of the customer service, and that comes from the top down. That our owner, the guy who started American Backflow, was a contractor for many years, so he saw from the field side what was important to them, what you needed, what guys needed when they got out there, what they needed beforehand. And since the beginning, he's kind of invested in the employees to do that, right? It's
Yeah.
not a, hey, come in, here's a phone, here you go, here's a catalog. It's months of training before you can even talk to somebody, and that's all just to give you technical knowledge, right? I think some of our competitors, do it a little bit differently, but in the end, the product kind of shows, because we're selling the same Watts kit you can get anywhere. But if the pre-front, the support you get on the front end, and then the technical support on the back end, that's what guys keep coming back for. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't even know of any competitors. We were talking off air, and I was thinking, I was like, do they even have any competitors? But I just call you guys. Like, I just go straight there.
Yeah, that's it. Just think of us. Yeah,
just
there are
yeah.
none. There are
Yeah.
none. Just think of us.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys can see the chat, but the chat loves you guys.
Oh,
John
sweet.
John Marsh, huge fan of American Backflow. Customer service is unmatched. Tell me how. I love that they know the product they're selling. They ask follow-up questions when you ask them for a part, so they make sure you have everything you need.
Good.
Big Country never had a bad experience with American Backflow. We appreciate y'all. And
Roll
then
Tide.
and then here's Daryl. I'm the Backflow king. I do like 400 a year. Come on, Daryl. I want to see those days where you're doing 2 or 3 a day. Let's see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Joe Saffer, what's your distribution like in Virginia?
So
yeah,
we ship everything out of our Tallahassee location. So, but depending on what it is, parts are guaranteed within 1 to 2 days. Typically, we ship everything out same day up to what's the cutoff time right now? Typically for
3
the East
p.m.
Seaboard, 3
Yeah.
p.m. Yeah. So anything up to
Okay.
3. So if you ordered it, before 3 p.m. today, you'd more than likely have it, I guess what's today? Thursday, so Monday, or vice versa. But
Oh yeah, hit him up, Joe. Tell him Dope and Tape sent you.
mm,
I
There you
asked
go.
I asked him how
Well,
my new camera looked, and Tommy said, "You look great, Bobby. I mean, you're not Brian, but the camera looks great."
it's only so much you could do, right?
What up,
Bobby,
Steve?
Bobby, you got that stash though, man.
I know, right? Look at that. Oh,
Yep.
that's good. You guys are great. Daryl did 6 today?
There you
What?
go. There you
So
go.
Oh
those like six
gosh.
repairs, or
Testing, what are you doing, Daryl?
was he doing testing?
I
Because if
don't
he's
know.
testing only six, that's a light day, man. Pretty light day.
The gauntlet's been thrown down.
The gauntlet's been thrown
I'm
down.
I'm done by 10,
Shit.
Well,
That's
Well, you
funny.
going
gotta
back to
you gotta
the question
consider.
you all had about deliverability, right? We do 2-day delivery on everything,
Mhm.
and that's I think one of the things too. Sometimes we get people that call up and they feel like, hey, this is what's happening to the backflow. We need this something right now. Do you have something here in Virginia? We need it. Most times we can kind of get something to give you a little bit of a bypass, or get you through a day or two. It's not an emergency type of thing. Even a dumping relief valve, there's fixes for that, and then you can get the parts in a day or two, and you can next day air them. You can have them the next morning, and you're ready to go. So that 2-day distribution seems to work, and we do that all over the United States, Canada. Hell, we ship all over the world now at this point.
I mean, that's
Awesome.
huge.
Awesome.
Me being with Arco, I mean, I see contractors sometimes 2, 3 of them a day. And that's one of the things like, hey, sometimes we need it next day. We need it now.
Yeah.
That's something that
Every
Arco,
time. They need it now every
yeah,
time, don't they? Do they ever not
yeah,
need it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Right
Exactly.
now, yesterday,
I
I
need it
needed it
now.
They
yesterday.
get a
As
quote a
fast
month
as
ago,
possible.
and then it
Yeah.
comes by. I need it tomorrow. It's
I
like,
need Yeah, right, yeah. I need it now. Oh
Should have gave me
man.
that PO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Now,
no. So go ahead.
is there anything that y'all do non-carry backflow wise? I mean, y'all pretty much have everything.
When it comes to backflow, I mean, hands down, we carry pretty much everything. I mean, I would say hands down deepest inventory in the country. There's not many orders that
Oh
we
wow.
cannot fill same day. I mean, our warehouse is huge. I mean, steadily adding to it. But aside from Backflow, we also have our fire division that we have here. That stemmed back from in 2014. We started dealing with automatic control valves, calling on customers. And it was me and Andrew and Jason Gregg here, who's on our technical team. And as we were calling around, talking to a bunch of fire sprinkler contractors, we were talking about, the fire pump relief valves right here over my shoulder, and asking guys, hey, do you work on automatic control valves like fire pump relief valves? Do you repair these things? And guys were like, yeah, we repair them. Hey, what about on the fire pumps? Can you get us fire pump parts? And we're like, well, yeah, I mean, let's look into it. So we went down an avenue. We seen a guy's need for, fire pump repair parts and things like that. There was just a need there, and guys are having troubles getting it and things like that. So we got into fire pumps and repack kits, and we kind of mimicked our same level of customer service and mimicked our backflow side where we're carrying all manufacturers parts when it comes to pumps and automatic control valves. We got into fire hydrants now, so that's our latest line, just fire hydrant repair parts. And a lot of this is strictly just the repair parts. We don't sell, complete fire hydrants. We don't sell complete pumps.
Right.
We are what it says, the repair parts experts, right? So it takes a lot to be able to, sell these kind of things and be intimate with the repair parts whenever you're calling in for a, cloud hydrant or an American Darling hydrant. We can kind of visualize exactly what you're looking for when it comes to that, nozzle or cap or main valve or whatever it is. If it's on a fire pump, the shaft sleeves, the lantern rings, whatever it is, we're intimate with those parts, and we can, just service anybody just like we can on our backflow side. So
that's
Right.
big. That's huge.
It's
Just having
awesome.
someone on the other end that knows it, and you got another comment. American Backflow has gotten me out of a pinch a few times on the rebuild kits. Customer service is top notch. It's not like talking to someone from AutoZone. These guys know their stuff. Seth Shepard. You guys know Seth Shepard?
Yes,
Yeah.
that name sounds
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I do.
The
Yeah.
guy in the top left, he's a looker. That's Andrew.
Oh, God. Son of a gun.
Oh,
I
and then
knew someone was gonna say something.
we got a fun fact from
Yeah.
Daryl. My favorite backflow is Wilkins. All right, Daryl.
There you go.
Yeah.
Come on, Daryl.
Cool.
No, I think, and yeah, so I think Seth's actually one of my buddies watching. I told him I'd be on, but yeah, so just
Yeah.
ignore that comment. We'll
Yeah,
scratch that out.
yeah, that's awesome. I like that.
That's not true.
I like those are my favorite type of
It's awesome.
comments.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
from the buddies or the wives or something,
Yeah.
Wilkins is, going back to what they said, Wilkins, I mean, their backflows are really nice, really easy to work on as well. They're doing a good job in the fire industry as well. I mean, of course, they got their, fire pump, pressure reducing valves and relief valves now. So, I mean, those guys between, Joe, Thomas, and Will Allgood, and those guys are doing a good job, in the fire industry.
Mm-hmm.
What's so cool to me about, our fire division is the fire industry. I've just grown to such a big passion for it. Guys like, you, Brian, and you, Bobby, like, this stuff is so cool to me. I'm going out there to the AFSA and NFSA shows, the NFPA that we'll be at in a couple of weeks, and, seeing guys. And it's such a huge industry, but what's so crazy about this industry is everybody knows everybody,
Everybody knows everybody.
It's big,
yes.
it's big, but it's
It's
small
so
compared to
small,
other
dude.
industries.
Crazy.
Big, like it's like a big pond,
It
especially
is,
for
like-
it seems like a big pond for like backflow guys like us, because our industry is
Oh,
so
okay.
small. But then you get in the fire industry, you start meeting people, and you realize how interconnected it all is. It's pretty cool.
Every sprinkler system's got a backflow, right? Well,
Exactly,
you'd
yep.
hope at least by now. I know there's
Yeah,
still
oh,
some
yeah,
that probably
yeah.
don't, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you were a car mechanic or you're really into cars, you go to car shows, Like
Yeah.
if you were into boats, you go to boat shows. So like if you do fire protection and you're into it, why aren't you going to the shows,
Yep.
Yeah, going to that first NFPA was eye-opening. I feel like I want to be at every one. I want to be at every NFPA.
Did you guys go to Vegas last year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we did.
That was
How
our
about the
first.
building
our
burning
first
down?
show.
Y'all remember seeing the building burning down out there?
Yeah, just like out the
At a
hotel
fire
room.
sprinkler
I'm
conference,
like,
right? It's
Dude,
crazy.
what a coincidence. That's a little crazy. Like we had a perfect view of it.
Yeah. They're like, so
Really?
for this
Yeah.
demonstration, we decided to light this entire building on
Yeah,
fire.
like wow,
You
like
guys
dude,
need-
that's odd. That
Yeah.
building's on fire over there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That was awesome. We were at AFSA in September, and we'll be at both again this year.
Okay,
Good,
yeah.
yeah.
So we.
But we'll have to connect. Us three will all be out there in Denver for AFSA.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make some videos. So
Yeah.
we could go live, or we did a roundtable on one. What are we doing? We filmed it and recorded it, and then I just posted it as a video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
think it
would
was
be like that blue collar
little
broadcasting.
chats, yeah, or we broadcast it. It all depends on the Wi-Fi we
So are
get.
y'all gonna bring a booth? Are y'all gonna have like a
Mhm.
big booth? Or okay,
Actually,
cool.
yeah, I just selected the location and everything for it, so we're all locked in now. So
Oh, that's pretty
Not
cool.
Arco size, but
Awesome.
we'll have a booth there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Right next to you.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You
No,
got some. You
I
I
got
think
actually
we're
somewhere to
gonna
put the
bring the
backpack.
trailer inside. I think we're gonna
I
Oh,
heard
drive
you
it,
really?
guys are
drive it
doing that
right
for
in there.
NFPA. You're going to bring the trailer
Yeah,
down.
There you go.
all the way inside. Yeah, this
That's
will be
awesome.
awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
So,
is
Ryan,
we
cool.
just
talk
got one of
about
the
that
10 by
trailer. What are
10.
you guys doing with it? I see you guys going around. I think it was at some, high school, like shows or whatever, trying to get some high school kids involved.
Yeah, I mean, high school kids are. I mean, they're our future, but the problem is that only really people only really know what the big three, welding, plumber, electrician,
Yeah.
and of course, there's other ones, but that's where everybody pushes. So we go to high schools and we talk about fire protection. We show the trailer, and then we have a couple of TVs on each side, and we kind of show people putting in pipe, putting in heads, some design, paperwork, and then we have a couple of risers with some flex drops and some check valves. We have a backflow in there, and we're just trying to spread the word and get people excited and let them know about fire protection. Because through this show, it seems to be the same answer over and over and over, except for two Craigslist guys. But usually, someone gets brought in. It's like, man,
Look,
I'm looking for a job. I need the job. So, okay, well, come on over here. We'll hire you. And then they're stuck. They're here forever. But
Yeah.
that's typically how it happens. And I wish it would stop. I wish people would start considering fire protection. It's such a great. I mean, it's recession proof, especially like if something happens. I mean, I was an inspector during COVID and I was working overtime.
Hmm.
I mean, I never
Yeah.
stopped. And some people lost their homes and couldn't afford food and lost cars and completely wrecked their lives because they couldn't work,
Yeah.
Yep.
but
yeah,
not in fire
we had
protection.
sprinklers that needed to be maintained and emergencies that were happening. I worked. That was the busiest year I ever worked.
Yeah,
Well,
we didn't.
essential
We were
workers,
the same
right?
way.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were the
Yeah.
exact same way. We didn't slow down. I don't think a tick. It was pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
It's sped up almost. Florida is proud of their backflows. They always put them out front of their buildings. I love that. Being from the north, it's
Yeah,
so weird seeing anything outside.
Yeah, it
it
is.
is.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it freezing at all,
We
man.
got like you got your own room. Every building's got a
Mhm.
sprinkler room. Like it's a
Yeah,
dedicated. I feel like that should be like a nation. That has to be like a nationwide thing where you need to have like a sprinkler room.
yeah,
No more shit outside.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
the fire pump parts is that new? 'Cause I really only know of you guys for backflow. That's what I'll call. I'll call them backflow stuff.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people. I mean, that's our bread and butter, right? It's backflow repair. I mean, American Backflow Products. We've been doing backflow since 1997. And so before that, our owners they were out in the field testing and repairing and everything like that. But back in 2014 is when we kicked up the automatic control valve division. Dealing with like your clay valve, pressure reducing valves, and altitude control valves, fire pump relief valves, things like that across all manufacturers, whether it's Clayval, Watts, Wilkins, Bermod, Singer, all those manufacturers, we mimicked our backflow side. We've seen there is a need for support there. A lot of times guys get out in the field and they get to a altitude control valve or a pressure reducing valve
That's
or a
funny.
fire pump relief valve. And, they, especially if a fire pump relief valve, if it goes down, guys like, I'm not repairing it. I'm not touching it. There's a bunch of piping on the outside of it, and it looks intimidating, right? But we're able to provide the technical support for those because those valves they're not very intimidating. They look it, but they're not, right? They just open, close, or modulate. And so, we seen a need there. So we started stocking those valves, all the repair parts for all the manufacturers. That way we can get customers out of a jam on that line as well, as far as automatic control valves. And going around and talking about those, would led us into the fire pump parts and the fire hydrant parts. So we've been doing it for about 10 years. Um,
Okay.
so and it's one of them things where we're going around our same customers that are coming to us for backflow repair parts. They're asking us for this stuff, and we're just wanting to provide that support. And I mean, we've been really successful and blessed with it.
It's
The
actually the
altitude
same.
valve is very special. We just put one of those. I just put one of those in for the first time. Chad and
Oh yeah.
Chad really put it in, but we were working on it together. But I wish I knew. I could have just called you.
Man, yeah.
Did you have trouble setting the level for the tank and everything for it?
Oh hell
Weren't
yeah!
y'all on
Oh
like
hell yeah!
FaceTime for like hours?
Yeah,
Yeah
no,
yeah
it could be
yeah
a very laborious like
yeah.
Jason Greg actually works with me and John. He's kind of our ACV guru in there, and
Yeah.
he'll get on the tech phone, and he's like, hey, just turn that adjustment, screw just a
Turn the
little bit and just
crank
give it
that
like
screw. Oh
30
my god.
minutes, and he's pleading with them because they'll turn it like two full turns and then the tank's either overflowing or whatever, so it's just
That's the perfect
he's like,
description.
you gotta let
And
it
you got and behind the tank is a drop off and there's a cranky old lady and like we're trying to get the
Yeah.
thing to shut off and it's just
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
overflowing. I'm like, fucking,
And then it takes 20 minutes to shut off.
crank the nut, Chad. He's like, all right.
It's definitely finicky for sure.
We got it though. Now I know who to call.
Well,
Oh,
the
that's
same thing
great.
kind of happened with our newest venture, our fire hydrant parts.
Yeah.
So same thing, just us being involved in the fire protection industry. People, same thing, what they did with the fire pump parts and, fire pump relief parts and things like that. They started, hey, do you guys do anything with fire hydrants? So we just told them no at first, and just we would what we like to do is try to figure out somewhere to send you. So we figured out the local suppliers and things like that. But eventually, you just get to the point where it's like, hey, we're getting like 5 calls a week on this, and we're not even marketing for it. They
Yeah.
just see fire in our name, and people are calling us for this. So we did a couple years worth of research, and just like trying to figure out what to bring in, the popular manufacturers, the current obsolete models, things like that. And eventually, kind of started putting lining it all up together and getting a good picture of how to sell these parts. And so that's our newest venture that we've been growing the past 2-3 years, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the hydrants, it was a bear to tackle, but I mean, it's such a fun game to be into. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the hydrants, man, between American Darling and Mueller and Clow, M&H, Kennedy, all those guys. They all have, their different models, and they're so challenging, just like backflow parts. I mean, it's not everybody can do it, and you have to be very intimate with it. There's so many different year models and changes throughout the years for, the same model. So
Right.
it's one of them things where when customers call us and they have a 5 1/4 inch American Darling V84B, we know the questions to ask to make sure they're getting the correct repair parts, but not only getting the correct repair parts, getting them in a timely manner as well. So, it's all, again, it all goes back to that customer service, which keeps our customer service is one of the things that it keeps leading us down these other avenues, because our contractors, they just keep asking us for this stuff. So,
That's great.
Yeah. That's awesome. So when it comes to technical support, and I guess we can kind of talk about everything, but I guess we could start with hydrant. What are some of the mistakes that people are making when they're repairing these? Like that you've heard,
Well,
like they'll say, "Hey, I've done this and this and this," and you're like, maybe you shouldn't have done that.
I'll say that just I'll kick it off. Like the first thing, essentially that we saw, especially at the beginning, was just not having all the information on the hydrant, which is not a lot of information. It's just manufacturer, model, and year. And a lot of times it's hard. The year rust off. It's kind of hard to see. So then you get some assumptions thrown in there. But then hey, between 82 and 83, there was this slight change that just ruins your whole day pretty much, because we send you a kit that is wrong because in that one you just happen to have an 82 and we sent you the 83 and older kit. So
Oh
it's
my
definitely,
goodness.
I'd say yeah, they can be real finicky like that. But we have all that information that tells us, hey, after 1989, this and this and this changed, this was kept the same. But unless we have that information, it can be very difficult or it's just risky to assume, to
That
both
sounds
the
like a Friday job when you received the 83 and you really wanted an 82.
yeah. You need to have like a
Definitely.
12-pack of beer with you if that
That was
happens.
that was definitely on a
When it
Friday.
just goes wrong.
Yeah.
So my pictures are great though. We get a lot on
Yeah.
hydrants, pumps, backflows, all of it. A couple snaps of the phone and text it into us or email it in. We usually can kind of help with a lot of those questions. Backlow's the same exact way. There's so many different modifications and years and things like that. If you mentioned the 2000 SS earlier, right? If you thought you had an SS, you had an SC, that's completely different parts, right? And that could be a little scratch on a stainless steel plate that you didn't notice. But send us a picture, tell us what you're working with. We can kind of just back that up and make sure you got the right thing when you get out there.
Yeah, I have a story on this. Jeez, man. So I was repairing. It was a 2000 SS. That's why I know it needs a special tool. It I got it open without the tool, and it was a rough day, man. We had like a big awning, like a little fold out tent kind of thing over the vault, because it was storming that day, and then there was leaking at the downstream of the supply, and so we had a sump pump, and it was storming. Then we had the cover, and I was down there in boots fighting with a 2000 SS. I think it was like a 6-inch, and I finally got it up, all the checks out and everything. And then I go to get my repair parts, and the purchaser purchased the wrong repair parts.
Oh man!
But then I was just like, "What am I gonna do?" Terrible day. Yeah. Terrible day. That's something I'll remember forever.
Yep.
Take a mulligan on that one.
Who took the blame? Like, you or them?
Well, they were like, "Well, Brian, you should have checked before you opened it and got everything out, and you know."
Yeah.
That made you feel better, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, screw this. I was out there for a very long time dealing with that.
Andrew.
There was like 3 different backflows. Two of them I was swapping, and 2000 I was repairing, but I was probably out there for like 10 hours.
Jeez.
And I had to keep up with the sump pump and all that, and keep the generator going. It was terrible.
Andrew Evans with a great question that we kind of just breezed right over is, what is an altitude valve? I found that out just a couple weeks ago. One of you could probably explain it better than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's an altitude valve?
An altitude control valve, what it is, it's a level control valve, right? It keeps your water level where you want it to be in a, groundwater storage tank. A lot of times we sell these for the fire protection application when you're drawing that water out of a storage tank. We sell them with a 5 to 40 foot spring range, because most of the time that tank is, it's not going to be above 40 foot high. We do sell these for municipalities where they may need a 30 to 80 foot spring range, but really, it's just a level control valve that controls the water level in a water tank. And it's all, it has a pilot valve on it that senses that head pressure inside of that tank and just tells that main valve when to open up to fill that tank back up, or close off when it hits that level set point to close back down. So
perfect.
It controls the altitude level in that water tank.
And like what we were talking about earlier, so they're hydraulically controlled. So, and there's no really foot markers on the adjustment screw. So, say like with a SCADA system or something like that, you're just putting in a computer what footage you want the tank to close off at or whatnot. But with this, like, what Bobby was going through was, you just have to adjust that screw and wait and see how much it fills up. There'll be a little thing on the spec sheet that says, hey, 1/2 inch is this many feet, blah, blah, blah. But, that can be so off so many times.
You want to know Bobby's brain, how we did it? It's like, I was like, all right, let's get the tank full, right?
There you go.
And then get this thing to stop flowing.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's get the tank full. So we topped it off, and then we were like, all right, we're full. Let's figure out how to get it to stop flowing. And then so we did that, and they're like, all right, let's drain it a little bit and see if it starts flowing again. And then, but it was that was like, I don't know, what, Chad, a day and a half, 2 days? I don't even know. It was a long time, a lot of FaceTime. A lot of FaceTime.
Yep.
Yeah, it's basically like a toilet float, I guess, if you would. Yeah, it fills it back up.
Oh, yeah, so it is. So there, obviously, so when it comes to altitude control valves, that falls into the level control family of altitude control valves. So they got an altitude control valve, and then you got a float control valve as well. That a float control valve is for an open type tank, right? And that there has a float that rides in that tank just like a toilet. And when that float comes up, it opens that main valve up. When that float goes down, or when that float goes down, it opens the main valve up, allowing water into the tank. When that float is all the way up, it closes that main valve, telling that water to shut off to that tank. SPP out back, I'm sure y'all went out back for the flow test. They actually, you remember that red storage tank out back on the very top.
Yeah. Oh
have a
yeah.
clay valve, float control valve on the very top of that tank. So
Yeah. Does it work now, or is this before? This is before or after I was there?
it worked whenever
Well,
I
yeah.
went there. That was probably 2018,
Oh,
maybe.
Okay, so we
oh
just
yeah.
ran a fire hose.
That fucker's broken.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you're watching, Chris, if you're watching,
Yeah,
get up
yeah.
with me.
Give us
Get
a
up with me,
call.
Chris.
Yeah.
We were up on that tank. And I was like,
Yeah.
and then so I was at the hydrant. I was like, I just opened the hydrant a little bit more. I'm like, all right, let's fill this thing up. I just flew the hydrant open, and then there goes the hose.
Flying everywhere.
Everybody just runs. It was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Do you have replacing candles? A lot of people take the hand. They're replacing handles. A lot of people take the handles off the backflow, and then they go missing, and then they're not operating. So you pretty much have to replace the whole backflow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have replacement handles for all manufacturers. Believe it or not, it's not one handle fits all. It's kind of crazy. So we do have replacement handles. We also sell a tool. We call it the dog bone tool, and that tool has different size handle slots that you can keep in your
Oh,
toolbox in your test kit. It's an awesome tool just to have for missing handles.
dog bone
The
tool.
dog bone tool. I want to
It'll
see
cover,
that
yeah,
thing.
any 2 inch and below size pretty much that you're gonna run into nowadays.
You
So
googling it, Bry?
I am.
it's
Man.
on the website,
Oh,
backflowparts.com.
Big Country said he made that mistake one time with the SS and the SE.
Oh yeah? Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Which
all
I
the
mean,
time.
you got to think they look the same. So, if you work on them all the time, you walk up to one and you're like, oh, that's an SS. And you see the size. So it's an SS, you see the size, and you don't think about the SE at all. So that's kind of what we're here for, to ask you, hey, if
Boom.
possible, that could
Now,
be something.
if anyone ever sees this episode and they go to do it, now they're gonna know. They're gonna be looking out for it.
Well, they don't make them anymore. So hopefully they'll eventually be, gone. But we'll see. They're stainless steel. So
I don't know how to share my screen, but if you can see it, oh, hold on.
you got it.
Oh,
Hold on.
oh, you almost had it. Oh,
There
there it
it
was.
is. It's like a ghost.
Oh,
A peek. You got a peek.
Yeah.
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 You get a peek at
Anyways.
it, yeah.
Oh, you got it
There
right
it is.
there.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah,
There
there
it
you
And
go.
you'll notice the dog bone tool has different slots, right? So
What's the part number?
if you go to our website, www.backflowparts.com, anybody that's tuning in, go check it out, www.backflowparts.com. You can go punch in part number WV, West Virginia, WV102, and it'll pull right up. And if you're on our website, take time to go look. I mean, we got a lot of great, useful resources on there as far as, our repair parts. You can view online pricing. Say if it's 10 o'clock at night and you're trying to get a job quote out, you can see your pricing. Go ahead and get that quote over to your customer. If you're out in the field and you need help repairing a device, we have repair procedures on there that you can pull up with your smartphone that walks you step by step through any backflow out there, any repair out there. We also have repair videos. We strategically make these repair videos. Doug he's the head guy on these things. He's really, really good at it and puts a lot of time into it. We keep these repair videos within 5 minutes. I mean, we don't want contractors out in the field, for 30 minutes watching a 30-minute video trying to figure out how to repair something. We get straight to the point. So, I mean, within 5 minutes, they know exactly what's going on with that valve. So, but yeah, if you're on our website, check out the valve stem wrench for missing handles, part number WV102. It's a good tool to have.
I also
WV102.
I put it on Instagram just now.
Oh, you got it on
So if you
Instagram?
didn't write it down, yeah. So if you didn't write it down just now, you go to Retrofit Instagram. I put it on my stories. You'll be able to find it. That's awesome. So is that what y'all gonna be giving away?
Yeah, there it is, Bobby.
Y'all be giving that away at NFPA? That'll be a great show giveaway.
Yeah, so
I'll come get 4 of them.
Yeah.
that
You
would
do
be-
that. Hey. Yeah.
There's actually a lot of tools out there. That being one of them. Honestly, at least for the backflow trade, I know it's the same the sprinkler trade. Technicians design most of these things from being out in the field and dealing with exactly what whoever that was mentioned in the missing handles. So there's a boatload of different things for handles, for check valves, for installation, and repair of backflows that are on there. So if you spend a minute, you can just break it down by manufacturer on there, take a look, and you'll probably find some stuff that make the job a lot easier for you. And it's just a lot of times guys just are not aware of it. They just kind of figure it out themselves, or they just kind of go through it and they're out there for a couple hours and they figure it out in the end, but could have saved them a lot of time and a lot of effort.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. So, well, guys, how about a little bit of giveaway? We got some stuff to give
away.
away.
Is that a giveaway?
Yeah. So,
oh, sweet.
Free stuff.
So let's do this. Doug, if you want to hit it off with a question, the first person, that gets the answer, just email, I'll let you know. If you can, Bobby, just let me know who got it right, and I'll write down their information. And if y'all can, just email me your address, your phone number, your email, johns@backflowparts.com, JOHNS as in Sam @backflowparts.com. First thing we're going to give away is this hat. American Backflow.
Oh, that's a nice hat.
Yeah, a little Carolina blue for you.
It's awesome.
So,
I like the hat.
Yeah, Bobby, we can't see the feed, so I'm not sure whoever answers this first. But what is the purpose of a metered bypass assembly on a backflow preventer? So on a DCDA or RPDA, what is the purpose of the metered bypass?
Ooh,
yeah, I'll be able to see. I'll be able to see that.
That answer should come up fast.
Yeah. The only thing is that we do have a couple people on Twitch. So
yeah, it should be Daryl Big Country.
Twitch it will integrate onto Streamlabs on actually like real time on who came in.
I'll say Seth Shepard, you're still watching. Get this right. I'll send you my next paycheck. But...
Yeah. Wow.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
No, he won't. No, I know. Because he's not in the backflow industry.
Yeah, I may send a text to Seth.
I'm coming.
He's like Google.
He's about to Google this thing.
He's on chat GPT.
Somebody beat Seth to it. Come on.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
That's a good question.
Right. So what's the purpose of a metered bypass on a detector assembly? Backflow detector assembly.
To regulate backflow to the preventer, to prevent stealing water from fire protection. You had me at free hat. To meter non-sprinkler water usage like washing a car.
There you go. Yeah.
Because the city said so. All right. So read me the answer and I'll tell you who got it right.
Yeah, that is the reason, right? So, a fire sprinkler system is non-metered water, right? So they need a way to make sure that that system doesn't have some type of leak or somebody is trying to tap into it and steal water. So they put a little bypass assembly on there. They throw a little 3/4 inch meter on it. They're supposed to report that meter reading each year to the utility, and the utility can kind of see if something's going on.
So leak detection.
There you go.
Yeah, leak detection or unauthorized use of water, like people stealing water. So,
so I got Big Country came in first he said leak detection.
Hey, I called that.
Big Country. Roll Tide.
Big Country. That's my guy. Hey, buddy, you lucky. Are you Irish, Big Country? That's my dude.
He's won some tools from me too.
It pays to watch the show.
Exactly.
He got some boots. How's the boots holding up? Did you get boots? I believe
He's got boots. He got Arco tools. Now he has a American Backflow hat. Jeez.
Hey, so going back to that detector assembly, one of the things that we get a lot of calls out there for, and something that's we like to educate on, is a type 1 versus a type 2 bypass on a detector assembly. So what we're seeing on the newer backflow preventers is going to be that type 2 bypass. And we get a lot of questions about, what is that type 2 bypass? And then when it comes to, recording the test results, how do I record the test results? We field a lot of calls with that. And everywhere we go around the country, the different AHJs require different reports on how they test or how they actually write down the test results on the report. So, Doug, can you elaborate a little bit, difference between, type 1 and type 2 and, what you see as far as, out on the road and what AHJs like to see?
Sure. Well, I mean, the main difference is the original bypass assembly was a metered bypass assembly. So a little 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch line that tapped onto the backflow. And if it was a double check, it had a small double check on there, right? If it was an RP, it had a small RP on there. A few years back, they made some changes and they allowed them to basically tap into the backflow at a different point where it went through the check number one and then the bypass assembly was there. So because of that, they allowed a single check. So if you ever walk up to a DCDA or an RPDA and you just see one single check sitting on the bypass assembly, that is the type 2 bypass assembly. And then, John, like what you're saying, how to report it, go back to the AHJ, but it usually falls into one of two boats. It's either going to be you just report what that single check reading is, and they'll be fine with that because they'll recognize it's a type 2. Sometimes they go, hold on a second, this is a DCDA. Where's my number 1 check reading? I want a number 1 check reading on that bypass. You re-report the number 1 check on the main line unit. It's got a dual purpose. It is the number 1 check for the bypass and for the main line. So you got 1.6 on it. You're going to write down 1.6 again for your bypass number 1 check too.
Okay.
So,
that makes great sense.
Exactly.
I went to Alabama, but I live in Georgia, so it's more fun to say roll tide and watch people get bent.
Yeah, me too. I hate
Go Dogs.
I hate roll tide, man. I hate Alabama. Can't stand them.
In Alabama too, it doesn't even matter where you're at. You know, you could be anywhere, and you could say War Eagle or Roll Tide, and you're gonna get yelled at by somebody.
Man, I tell you what, Alabama, they went on a run for sure, and they may still be on it. We don't know, but I mean, how about Nick Saban? I mean, that was something else. I mean, I think we witnessed some history there that we'll be able to tell our kids about one day. Hats off to him.
Yeah.
So
incredible coach.
So next thing,
we just lost.
Oh, we got another one.
Oh, okay, little cup. Thermos.
So I got a question for you. So when replacing packing on an OS&Y valve, is that valve fully open or fully closed when replacing the packing?
Hurry up.
Time's a ticking.
Time's ticking. Let's see. Boom.
So Doug actually, again, I mean, he's the video guy. He's the guy behind the scenes when it comes to our videos, and he has probably our most watched video on YouTube. I mean, it has like 20,000 views on it. It talks about how to repack an OS&Y valve, and it's very informative. Does a great job with it.
And what? It's on the American Backflow YouTube.
Yeah, yep. American Backflow YouTube channel. Yep.
If you just type in OS&Y repack, shouldn't it pop up?
It should be the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool. That's something I've never done before.
Dope and Tape just subscribed. Oh, you guys are almost at 1,000. 873. Go subscribe to American Backflow products on YouTube.
And that's another thing too. Is I hear that out on the road a lot. Just because we deal with backflow preventers, we stock pretty much every part and repack kit for OS&Ys as well. So keep that in mind if you're listening and have trouble getting OS&Y, the repack and hardware kits, things like that. So we do keep hundreds of those things in stock. So whenever you need them.
Yeah, don't replace a gate valve just because it's leaking. We people have done that before. It's leaking. Okay, I got to replace it. But I mean, it's a quick, easy fix.
Who said fully open? I see it on my phone in the feed down there, but I can't. It's blurry. So.
Oh, you talked about YouTube, and I got totally sidetracked. We got.
No, you're good. Keep watching.
John Marsh. Let's see. Is that the first
one?
Is that the first one? Let me see. There's one for Bama. Good. Thank you for your service. John Marsh, fully open. Andrew Evans, open. Joe Saffer, open. Big Country, open.
And all of those are right. All of those are right. John, if you can, shoot me an email, johns@backflowparts.com. Give me your address, your phone number, your email.
John Marsh. John Marsh. Tommy Howard, repack? Nah, I have kids to feed. Replace it. That's good.
Hey, don't send it to him anymore.
We're the repair parts expert. I got kids to feed too. So.
Here's a question: Do you cut packing on a 45 or 90 cut? Everyone does something different.
Everybody does something different. When it comes to the fire pump packing, a lot of people cut it, at a 45, a skive cut. When it comes to OS&Y,
that's what I did.
A lot of people, people just butt cut OS&Y packing. Honestly, the biggest thing is when you're putting that packing in, and Doug does a great job explaining it on that video on our YouTube channel. It's just staggering that packing. What I mean by that is you have your packing right here. You want your other ring to kind of be sitting like this, and not the same way that water will come out right there. So if that makes sense. But just stagger that packing. That's the biggest thing we can say. So yeah, email me, John. I'll get that water bottle to you. Big Country got you a hat. What we're gonna give away next is we got our MFS repair manual. So in this repair manual, it's a book of all the repairs for every single backflow out there. So you'll notice it has, I mean, everything in this thing. So step-by-step repair procedures. It's the Backflow Bible.
Parts list, spec sheets, everything.
That's what I called it. I called it the Backflow Bible when my school gave it to me.
Yeah. So for that, if you want that, answer this question. It is, how many turns does it take for an OS&Y valve to open? Just approximately, depending on.
Oh, damn, that's a good question. I never even thought of that.
Like FM required rotations.
No, this is just like a AWWA standard when it comes to OS&Y valves. Yeah, a lot of times guys they'll think they have the OS&Y valve closed, and it's just because they don't have we sell an OS&Y wrench that way it'll kind of help close it. A lot of times guys will get out there and turn it with their hands and think they have it closed, and they'll still have leak through the unit or something like that. And,
right.
There may be some obstruction, or that valve hasn't been exercised, so that valve's not closed all the way. And so this is just a fun fact, good knowledge to have. As far as when that valve is fully open, how many turns does it take for that valve to be fully closed? Or if that valve is fully closed, how many turns does it take for that valve to be fully open? So
we got some numbers coming in. I see 4, 9, 12, 13, 10.
Hey, just keep going. You'll hit
17. Yeah, I know, right? Just like beat everybody's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well,
5, 6,
I guess we should probably give them a size, right? I mean, or are we just going for the NFPA definition of it?
Well, it's
or do
it does have something to do with the size of the valve.
Yeah, I mean, hey, hint there. It depends on the size. So some of those numbers might be right depending on the size,
Oh, all right, okay.
But if like, does anybody know why it depends on the size? But I guess.
Now we're getting technical.
It's a longer stems.
Yeah, but I meant more like, what's the rule of thumb? I guess there's a rule of thumb for how many turns it'll take depending on the size.
Is that so? I'm on my live feed. Is that Vincent Powers? Is Vince on here?
Yep.
Yo, Vince, what's up, man? Vince is awesome. He's the
you guys got a lot of gate valve repacking videos.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we deal with a ton of fire contractors all over the country, so as much stuff as useful information that we can put up there is what we try to do.
I want to find the viral one.
Is it not? You can't find it?
I don't know.
Should be the best quality one.
Which one?
No, it's actually the one I didn't mean to publish on the internet.
Oh, is it really?
It was just a sample one, and it made it up there.
Wait, was that? But that was the one with the camera though.
Yeah.
You didn't mean to put it up. I
was just trying to practice with the camera and like different shirts at different times of day. People like talking in it.
You're like, oh man, people.
Gate valve packing sample video.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tommy, very close.
We just give it to Tommy.
I like this. I like when I like when there's a bunch of answers like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tommy is the closest one. And so we'll go with Tommy's answer. It's Tom, if you can shoot me an email, johns@backflowparts.com. I'll get this over to you. So Andrew, go ahead and say it. Tommy said divide by 3.
So the answer is going to be, the amount of turns is 3 times the diameter of the valve. So if it's a 10-inch valve, you're looking at 33 turns essentially. So that's why I was saying there's a rule of thumb depending on the size. So
he got it like directly after. Yeah. You'll see
exactly,
before
pipe he was all over it.
Pipe size times 3 is your turns.
There you go. Boom. That's it.
Pipe size times 3.
Good job, Tommy.
Pipe size times 3. I like that. I'm gonna remember that.
Yep.
Daryl's just saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Honestly, hey, send one to Daryl too. That's a good answer.
Yeah, he worked for it.
Yes, I don't do.
All righty, so let's do 2 more. Let's do 2 more.
Pipe size times 3. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. So let's do another American Backflow hat. American Backflow hat giveaway. And I know Vincent, he is really, really smart when it comes to these things, and he actually taught me a thing or two. So let's get into the fire pump side of things. So when testing a diesel fire pump, when you're doing your weekly test on a diesel fire pump, how long should it be ran?
Okay. Come on, guys. Boom.
Just Vincent immediately.
Blast them off. Here, let me show them this little video. Let me show them this quick video real quick while people bring in the
Yeah, let's go.
while people. Hey guys, check this out real quick. Boom, and we're back. I got Joe, first one to say 30 minutes.
Joe, if you can,
Joe
you're exactly
Saffer.
right, Joel. So 30 minutes on a diesel pump. Now, when you're doing your monthly test or monthly test on an electric pump, you go for 30 minutes or for 10 minutes. So you're gonna run it for 10 minutes on an electric pump. On a diesel pump, you're gonna run for 30 minutes. And this is where Vincent come into play here. Again, Vincent, man, he is a super, super smart guy. He's the head of ITM with NFSA National, and you can really learn a lot from that guy. Lean on him a lot, and super, super good guy. Electric fire pumps, you go for 10 minutes because the gives it time to cool down, give the motor windings time to cool down, and so that's what it is. So
Awesome.
Everybody.
This is cool. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys giving away cool little things. These usually
Yeah, that was cool. And
yeah,
nice hats.
they are
Some
nice
people's
hats.
suck.
Ours used to, but yeah, we have a variety of different colors and stuff now too. So we kind of sold into the old hat game, but the right way.
Wow. We got Andrew
Yeah.
Evans from Australia. 10 minutes for a diesel and 3 minutes for an electric in Australia.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
You said 3?
3 minutes and 10 minutes.
3
Wow.
minutes and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Australia, man, it's
You mean he's probably means 30.
No.
30 minutes.
10
10
minutes
minutes,
in
30
Australia,
minutes.
3 minutes for electric in Australia.
Oh, so it's just a
He
lot
speaks the
less
same
time.
language as us, dude. He's not like typing.
The water goes a different way. I know that.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we have Backflow
Yeah.
customers over in Australia.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
dude,
Yeah.
That's
some
cool.
long-time customers actually over there.
Yeah.
Vincent says thanks for the plug. Daryl says that's not fair. He has slower internet. He has faster internet. We have slower internet in Canada. That's awesome. Yeah, no,
Brian and Bobby,
Andrews.
we'll be at the NFPA. Let's get together and we'll give you some hats.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
that'd
gonna
be
link up.
awesome.
Anybody else watching, if you want to go to NFPA, let us know. We got a link we can send you. We can get you there. It's free for the expo. If you want to watch the seminars, we got to pay a little bit. And Brian and I will be speaking at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. We're doing a 1 hour, 1 hour talk basically about social media with the Matt Bass, and we're excited about it. We actually worked on our PowerPoint last night. It's coming along pretty good.
Yeah, we had like a 2-hour meeting putting that together, and it flew by.
Productive. It was
Yeah.
a very productive.
So we were working. Yeah,
That's cool,
very
man. I think
productive.
I'm interested in seeing what you guys are doing with that. I see where you guys had that speaking slot about social media and how it has impacted y'all's careers, and there's no doubt about that. I can attest to that. I mean, that's how I found you guys. I mean, it's through social media. Retrofit Brian, Blue Collar Bobby. On Instagram, both of you guys have a good following on there, and it's always something cool too. And
appreciate that.
like I said, man, it's been so cool to watch you two guys. We've seen you at the AFSA national shows, just kind of going around with your cameras, and it's been really cool to watch the growth that both of you guys have, and seeing all the fruits of your labor come to light. So
thank you, man. We really
Well, thank
appreciate it,
you.
and we
I really
appreciate this. You
that.
guys coming on and telling
Yeah,
us
of
all
course.
about it. And if anybody on here watching, you know who you got to call.
yeah, exactly.
You know who you got to
American
call with
Products,
any
we're here
questions.
for all your backflow repair parts needs, fire pump parts, automatic control valves and repair parts for those, fire hydrant parts. Again, our website is very, very informative, www.backflowparts.com. We have free repair resources on there. There's repair videos, repair procedures. You have online access to all of your pricing. And check us out. Like I said, our customer service is thing that we hang our hat on. It's that's what we keep, very, very, close to us. It's we have other competitors out there that sell the exact same product as us, right? They're going to sell you the same product. There's nothing better about our product. We're going to sell it to you. We can be very competitive on it. But one of the things that I can guarantee is that once you give us a shot and give us a try, you will see why, a lot of guys, once they give us that first chance, come over to us for the repair parts. I'll say this, I'll put our customer service staff against anybody in the country. Now, we work really, really, really hard when it comes to that and just product knowledge and knowing our stuff. So yeah, come check us out and see what we're about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
All with confidence.
Anyway, that's awesome. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like button, visit their website, and yeah, we can't wait to see you guys at NFPA. We're definitely gonna have to link up, make some videos, and we'll video your booth and everything, and maybe we can do a blue collar broadcasting and sit around and depending on the Wi-Fi,
yeah,
do a show.
I think that'd be fun.
I think it will be fun too.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you guys so
much. Thank you guys so much.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.